everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be reviewing this book here called Can You See Me? And this book, it's a YA book, so sort of young adult, I would say teen fiction, written by Libby Scott and Rebecca Westcott. Now Libby Scott, she's a young autistic girl, about 11 years old, and I came across this book on Twitter. This girl Libby, she'd written some a little bit about her life, and it ended up on Twitter and sort of went viral, and she got a lot of positive feedback from that, and I think that sort of inspired her mum to enable Libby to sort of write a book. She didn't write this book all by herself. She wrote it with Rebecca Westcott, who's a children's author. So Rebecca Westcott wrote the bulk of the book, but Libby wrote some of the diary entries at the end of some of the chapters. It's only loosely based on Libby's life, so it's it is fiction, but it is inspired by some of the struggles and that Libby herself has gone through. And I did actually think that this book was actually a very good representation of autism in girls. And I decided to read it mainly because obviously I do like reading. I am interested in reading fictional accounts of autism, and books in particular about female autism, because books on that subject are few and far between. And I thought the representation of autism in this book was very well done because it was non-stereotypical and subtle. In other words, the character Tally, who is loosely based on Libby, was not obviously different. She masked her autism because, like many autistics, she really wanted to fit in and be like everyone else. Her autistic differences were revealed in a low-key way, and her main differences only became apparent when she got home and took off her mask. The concept of masking was made concrete through a tiger mask, which Tally wears so she does not have to make eye contact with others. This physical mask mirrors the non-physical, metaphorical mask that Tally wears in order to disguise her difference at school. I liked this play on the two meanings of the word mask. The book begins at the point Tally starts year 7. On page 37, she learns that she only has 1 week to learn the layout of the school. Tally is not good with new places or directions, and she is acutely aware that there is no way she can learn the layout of the entire building in just 5 days. This brought back memories for me of starting secondary school and being very afraid that I would get lost, as like Tally, I really struggled to find my way around the school. And I think this must be quite a common autistic problem. You know, that kind of anxiety, you know, of trying to work our way around a new building, the layout of a new building. It's really very daunting. And as I say, it brought back many memories from that time. So, just like Tally, I tried to mask the problem by tagging on to the end of a group of kids and following them from one class to another. Unfortunately, this resulted in me being labelled too clingy by another girl, resulting in a loss of that friendship. Tally too faces this problem because she is soon excluded by the girls she assumed were her friends. And the betrayal of Tally's relationship problems with the other girls in her class, you know, it really did hit home for me because a lot of it was very close to my own personal experience, you know, of that time in my life. Quite uncanny, actually, the parallels. The book provides many examples of what Tally calls pretending to be normal. For example, not melting down when a teacher shouts at her, even though this is what she would have done if she were at home. I thought that Tally's friendship problems were very relatable, as I've already said. On page 133, Tally sees that the girl she called her best friend has a new friend. Tally sees them walking together down the school corridor. She worries that the new girl will steal Layla from her, because she assumed up until that point that Layla was her best friend. Almost exactly the same scenario happened to me when I was at school. On the first day I made a friend. I was so happy, I was so excited when I made this friend, and I thought all my problems, all my friendship difficulties were behind me. I was starting afresh, a new leaf. It wasn't to be. It was not long before the girl that I befriended began talking to other girls, and I felt excluded and worried that the other girls were stealing my friend away from me. I followed my friend everywhere she went, which is why she told me after a few weeks that we can no longer be friends. So as I say, a similar experience to what Tally endures in this book. The feeling of invisibility that results, as hinted at in this book's title, Can You See Me?, is indeed very painful. Because often, it's not just the overt bullying, that is hard. It's the more subtle ways in which I think particularly girls exclude. It's an understated form of exclusion, really. So it does make you feel, invisible. You're in a group, you're around other kids, but it's almost like no one knows you're there. So that, this book really did remind me of that time. It's a very unpleasant experience that I think many autistics endure. Made all the harder, of course, if you don't know why you're being excluded. Okay, so I'm going to move on now to the next part, so this video doesn't cut out on me. So moving on now to part 2 of this review of Can You See Me?